This is Formula One.
Welcome to F1 Blogs. In today's update, we delve into some insightful comments from Fernando Alonso, one of Formula One's most experienced drivers. The two-time world champion from Asturias recently shared his thoughts on the behavior and responsibility of F1 drivers, especially in light of the recent discussions about driver conduct following Max Verstappen's sanction by the FIA. Alonso, who has never been afraid to voice his opinion, believes drivers need to be more mindful of their actions and words, recognizing the significant influence they have on fans and society as a whole. The responsibility of F1 drivers. In recent weeks, driver behavior has become a hot topic of discussion, especially after some controversial incidents involving on-track radio communications. Drivers, often caught up in the heat of the moment, have been known to express their frustrations with colorful language. While this may be understandable, given the high-pressure nature of Formula One, the sport's governing body, the FIA, has expressed concern about maintaining professionalism. Alonso, the most experienced driver on the grid, addressed this issue during a public event with Aston Martin sponsor, Cognizant, as the sport enjoys a brief break before resuming competition. The Spanish driver highlighted the importance of drivers controlling their behavior, not just because of FIA regulations, but also due to the influence they wield as role models for millions of fans around the world. The influence of drivers on society. With 43 years of life experience and over 2 decades in Formula One, Alonso knows better than most what it means to be under constant public scrutiny. The Spaniard shared his thoughts on the global influence that F1 drivers hold. "I've met many fans around the world who follow Formula One, and they always tell you that you are their inspiration. It reminds you that there are so many people watching us," Alonso stated during the event. He acknowledged the responsibility that comes with the position of being a top-tier F1 driver. The emotional roller coaster of competing at the highest level is something Alonso knows all too well. After all, he's experienced both career highs and challenging moments throughout his long tenure in the sport. But despite the frustrations that naturally arise in such a high-stakes environment, he believes that drivers must always maintain composure, both on and off the track. When you're a driver, you have to behave properly. That way, fans can show you love and motivation, but they also expect responsibility from you, Alonso added. His reflections are a reminder that F1 drivers are not just athletes, but also public figures whose actions can inspire, or in some cases, negatively influence their followers. Being a role model, even when it's tough. Alonso went on to explain that being a role model isn't always easy, but it's part of the job that comes with being a Formula One driver. There are days when you might not feel like taking on this responsibility, but you don't have a choice, he said. You have to be ready to be a role model, whether you want to or not. When you want to say something that isn't appropriate, you need to control yourself and be politically correct, Alonso explained. His remarks emphasized the fact that once a driver steps into the cockpit of a Formula One car, their responsibilities extend far beyond just driving fast. For Alonso, discipline is key. As a seasoned veteran, he knows that drivers must always be prepared, both physically and mentally. He shared an example of how this discipline is crucial even on days when motivation is lacking. When you're having one of those days where you don't feel like training or preparing for the next Grand Prix, you still have to do it because it's your responsibility. Fans believe in you, and they're counting on you to perform, said Alonso. A call for professionalism in Formula One. Alonso's comments come at a time when the debate around professionalism in Formula One is growing. The emotional outbursts and occasional out-of-line comments from drivers in the heat of a race may be understandable to some extent, but as Alonso pointed out, the stakes are much higher than just winning or losing a race. Drivers must remember the broader impact of their actions, especially given their platform and influence. As Alonso rightly notes, they are seen as role models, and that brings with it a set of expectations. Whether on social media, in interviews, or on the team radio during a race, the world is watching. The veteran driver made it clear that even when frustration or anger boils over, drivers need to show restraint and professionalism. Alonso's candid take on this subject is a reminder to fans and fellow drivers alike of the responsibilities that come with the fame and success that Formula One offers. It's not just about being fast on track, but about carrying oneself with the kind of respect and dignity that the sport and its many fans deserve. If you're enjoying our insights and updates from the world of Formula One, don't forget to subscribe to F1 Blogs for more exclusive content, news, and expert analysis. Stay tuned for all the latest from the racing world.